Recording this video Sunday 29th of September 2013. It's just gone 2 a.m. Chicago time, just gone 9 a.m. here in Biarritz in France. Hope you're having a good weekend. Make it a quick video, and I really want to talk about just one pattern today. I'll show you a couple of charts, the things that are of interest to me on this weekend, but really this is the pattern I want to talk about here. Where we get an exhaustion selling signal. This is better momentum. We're looking at a 40,500 tip bar chart here. Better momentum with exhaustion patterns. Then we get a first bullish divergence signal kind of comes in. Then a whole little series of little bullish divergence signals. Shallower and shallower selling kind of going on here. And they end up looking like a line, like a straight line here. And the point I want to make about this, if this were physics, if this were kind of, if you were turning a corner in a car, you'd kind of be stopping accelerating. Momentum effectively is measuring acceleration, so you reach kind of maximum acceleration here and you start to slow down. You're trying to do a U-turn or turn a corner or whatever it might be. You slow down and down and down, and then you start kind of moving in the other direction, and you kind of accelerate out of that corner and kind of move in the other direction. And so an accelerometer or something would show you this kind of pattern here, and then with an exhaustion buying or an increase in acceleration here kind of going up as you kind of rounded the corner and kind of went up in the other direction. And that would be how a nice kind of a physical system would work. Things kind of slow down gradually and then accelerate and kind of speed up. But we're talking about people, and people don't behave like that. You'll see this pattern again and again and again, and what happens is volume patterns are never neat and tidy. They're never just kind of round a corner and just are nice and smooth. They're jaggedy. They're always like this. You always get kind of extremes. Setting off a trend, you get an exhaustion, an extreme in buying, an explosion in buying activity. Bang. When you end a trend, you get an explosion in buying activity. Like this, where all the buyers have bought. The early buyers buy here, the late buyers, the amateurs kind of buy here. And what happens with a pattern like this is you get an extreme selling activity. You'll end up with an exhaustion selling pattern or a flush pattern, something like that, but a big reading kind of down here. So because I'm expecting that on Monday, that means that I think 1680 is not going to hold. As the last video I put out, I said 1680, I think it was 4 and 6 around that region, that wasn't going to hold. We broke through that Thursday into Friday. We've kind of held about 1680 kind of on Friday, but because I'm expecting that pattern with an exhaustion selling type signal, 1680 I don't think it's going to hold. Yeah, we could rally up on first thing on Monday and then kind of come down and test 1680 again. But I think that the thing that's more likely is we just kind of crash through it and we see that exhaustion pattern there. So look for that. You get it as sure as night follows day. That happens. Like these are not kind of neat physical systems. They're behavioral people type systems, and that's what you get. You get extremes of activity, rushing towards doors and so on. The 40,500 tip bar chart is extremely similar to the 45-minute chart. I kind of go on and on about this, and you see exactly the same pattern. There's the exhaustion selling after the Ben Bernanke high, getting the move going, starts to slow down. You can see, closer and closer to the zero line of those bullish divergence patterns, forming a nice little line. We're going to get that extreme selling, and we're below support here on the 45-minute chart, so I actually think we're going to fall into a downtrend at this point. I know we've kind of closed the gap with the Syria kind of bombing is off here. We've come down quite a long ways. I think a lot of people are saying, well, maybe now's the time to buy in and so on, but for God's sakes, just wait. That extreme selling's got to come in there. And then in terms of timing, on the daily chart, we've got resistance in. We've still got a time to run. Better sine wave has a little bit of time to run before it crosses over and says we should be looking for a cyclical support. And that would be a nice, kind of a resistance to support, a cycle move in the higher time frame, the daily chart, syncing up with a trend move on the lower time frame. So this kind of crashing into pullback to end of trend sequence on the 45-minute chart would be kind of nice in terms of symmetry and the usual things that we see, patterns that repeat and so on. But this is the pattern I want to point out. Straight lines, when you see bullish divergence or bearish divergence kind of ending up like that, they end up with some kind of extremes. So look for that. And of course, what have we got kind of going on at the moment? Well, here in Europe, if you're not kind of following the news, Berlusconi, the government in Italy, all the supporters of Berlusconi, I think, have decided to resign, and so the coalition, the very shaky coalition government in Italy, I think, is off. I think they're going to be having new elections. We'll find out more, as Monday kind of rolls around, but that's kind of development in Italy. We've also got the Golden Dawn Party in Greece, which is the right-wing kind of, I don't like saying neo-Nazi. They're just pro-Greece. They took 7% of the vote last time, the last elections in Greece. They're a major force. They've got a dozen or so members of parliament. They're not some kind of fringe, group. They're serious. They all got arrested. The members of parliament, a dozen of them, so on over the weekend. They got arrested, and the organisation Golden Dawn is being accused of being a criminal conspiracy. So extraordinary things, and that's with 7% of the population voting for him. And I tell you, that's 7% of the population that are very angry about what's been happening in Greece. They're the people that are more likely to go out on the streets and so on. So look out for that. We got some real kind of fireworks kind of heating up in Europe, and then of course you got the debt ceiling, and you got potential government shutdown in the US. So we've got plenty of kind of stuff in the background happening that'll make life interesting for next week. So a couple of other things on some charts that I put up a mystery pick. Not many people kind of follow me on Google Plus. There's not a lot going on there, but if you're interested, there was a little mystery pick. I put up this picture on of Thursday's activity. All I've got here is a 4,500 tip bar chart with better pro-am on. The professionals are shown in blue and the amateurs are shown in yellow. And the point of this picture to show you on Thursday was here's blue professional bars, more blue professional bars, and then on Friday's activity, blue professional bars here, here, and here. Note, no blue professional bars down here. We have these sell-offs. Professionals aren't interested in picking it up down here. They don't do that. It's forced back up again. They come in, sell down again. They don't come here. These are the amateurs kind of picking it up here. Come back at the end of the day, they're shorting it. We get this, kind of sell-off, so Thursday into Friday, so the 84, 86 level didn't hold. Bang, we kind of crashed through. No blue professional bars here. Thursday was a great day's trade. Friday was a little bit tricky. But note, with this sell-off, they weren't going to take it past 1680. They forced it back up into these highs, back up at this kind of breakdown level. So support becomes resistance. They've been quite actively, taking short positions up here. They forced the market back up that breakdown level, and same thing going on. So this is what's important about this chart. There are no blue professional bars on the lows. They were not buying the lows. They were selling the highs. So let's see what happens on Monday. If you're also looking at the currencies, the pound's breaking out, bang, to new highs. As we talked about, we've had on the weekly chart, extreme selling, bullish divergence, blue professional bars kind of coming, broken above cyclical resistance. We're in an uptrend on the weekly chart. We're in an uptrend. I know we've had pullback to end of trend here, but everything's got to come together. All the three have got to come together. You got to see your blue professional bars, exhaustion buying, and pullback to end of trend sequences. This is just busting up through into another uptrend, and the pound is getting strong. Euro, we had a little bit of weakness on Friday, trying to punch up through 35.5. I think it'll get there. We're through it on the weekly resistance on the weekly chart. I think we're going to get it through on the daily chart here. And so all the money is flowing out of the US into the euro and the pound, and you can see it on the dollar index daily and weekly chart. Just the flip side of the euro chart here. We're through support on the weekly chart. We're about to break through support on the daily chart, take us into downtrends, confirmed downtrends to new lows and so on. So the money is flowing out of the US and it's flowing into Europe and the UK. So just watch out. And then lastly, we have another crash warning, stock market crash warning signal went off. So on free code, it's out there on the commitment traders chart, talking about stock market crash warning indicator. Second signal kind of gone off here. Is there any, are double signals any better than single signals? When you look kind of just purely at the stats, the double signals are not as good as the single signals, but what in fact matters is where the signal happens. Here's a double signal that happens and the market's only just got going, but here's a signal that happens after the market's traveled quite a long ways, and that one works out really nicely. These ones have worked out nicely into little kind of corrections, but we've got warning signals going off after the market's moved a long way. And then in the background we've got capital flight out of the US maybe into Europe and the UK. Anyway, so the point of the video was to show you this pattern. and just to reinforce that we will get some kind of extreme selling kind of going on there at some point. So that's what I'll be looking for in the next couple of days. Hope your trading is going well.